In today's video, we are going over the top of the mountain from the western side of Cebu back into Cebu City, and there was a few places that we stopped at along the way. These are the Sirao Garden, Tops, and the Temple of Leah. Hey, how you going? Well, today's video we are going over the top. So it's going back a little bit from when we were traveling, doing a road trip down and around everywhere. And the last bit of that road trip, as we came from the western coast back up and over the top of the mountain coming down into Cebu, there was a few places that we stopped at along the way. So the first one, as we're sort of coming up, you get to the top of that, sort of the top of the mountains there's a garden there. I think it's called Sirao Garden. It's S-I-R-A-O. I'm not sure exactly how you say that. Sirao? Anyway, it's pretty cool. It's quite big, and it's kind of like an Instagram-y type of place. Like, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, and there's like gardens everywhere, and like little statue things that you can sort of pose on or climb onto and sit on and take photos on, and there's views out over the valleys and stuff like that. And there's just tons of spots where you can sort of sit and pose and take a photo together, or go over here and take a photo together. It's quite beautiful. And so we just kind of walked around there and had a look at all of the spots and tried to take some photos where we could, and a little bit of video you can see in there of us sort of showing what it's about. And I don't remember how much it was exactly. I think probably 80 or 100 pesos per person, something like that. Not overly expensive. And there's a fair bit of parking along the side of the road when you first get there. There is well, when we were there was a little sort of kid line. When I say kid, like he might have been 15 or 18 or something like that, sort of pointing you in, park here, park here, park here, park here. It's obvious where you got to park, but he kind of lines you up and gets you in there, and then when you come back, he asks for 20 peso or 30 peso or something as well. So maybe in total it's 120 peso or something. But yeah, it's nice. And there's a whole lot of little stores along the road there as well, so you can get some food from some sari stores, or other little stalls selling like corn on the cob or buko juice, which is coconut juice or whatever. Yeah, it's good. It's worthwhile going to. Even if, like for us, because we were coming part of the end of our road trip to come over the hill there, it was along the way, which was excellent. But even if you were in Cebu, it's a pretty easy day trip. Like, you could go from Cebu up and do what we're doing today. You could do it all easily in a day, and have a pretty cruisy day doing it all. So it's a good road trip from Cebu. From there, we kept going over the hill, and at some point there was actually a little coffee shop that I'd remembered from my first trip over there. I think it's called the Servo. It's like an Australian slang name for like a service, like a petrol station or a gas station. If you're in the Philippines, I guess you call them. In Australia, we call them servos, like a service station, but we call them servos. Yeah, my first trip there, when I was coming over the hill, I rode past and I felt like coffee, and there was this coffee shop called, a little cafe coffee shop called the Servo. I think that's what it was called. And I was like, that's weird. That's a weird name for it. And so I turned around and went back, and the coffee was really good. And I sort of asked them, they're like, oh yeah, it's owned by a Filipino girl who's a nurse in Australia, and she uses her money from that to start this here. And it's sort of a throwback to Australia. So as we were coming over the hill, we stopped there again and I got coffee, because it was one of the best coffees I'd had any of the times that I've ever been in the Philippines. It was really good. So if you are going through there and you happen to see it, it's good. Stop and get coffee there. It's good. So then we kind of kept on going, and as you sort of come up the very top bit of the hill, which looks down over Cebu itself, over Cebu City, I should say, there's a place called, I think it's just called Tops, or Tops Cebu, or something like that. And it's kind of just like a lookout, but it's got shops and other bits and pieces there, and you can park and go up, and I think so probably that one was about 100 pesos entry as well per person. And basically it's a huge big sort of, you walk through the entranceway and there's this sort of big courtyard, I guess you'd look at it as, and it's just a huge big open courtyard where you can look out over Cebu City, and it's really amazing views from there. It's really good. I think you can pay a little extra. I can't remember how much it was. Maybe it was like, I don't know, maybe it was like 30 pesos extra or something like that. And you can go up the stairs up to the top of the building, and then there's like some lookout, like slightly higher lookout point, which, to be honest, didn't really make a lot of difference. You can see in the photos what it looks like. It is nice up there because there's less people, but realistically, when we went, I think it was a weekday, and there was lots of people, but there wasn't that many people, so it didn't really matter. But the very top had a telescope, I guess you'd call it, like it's free, like it's just up the top there and you can sort of look into it. And from there, you could see, because Lynn lives like near the airport on Lapu-Lapu Island. That's kind of where she rents. And so with that, we could actually see all the way across Cebu City and then over to Lapu-Lapu Island, and you could see the airport. And if you got it just right, we could see, well, not clearly, but we could see her house basically, or there's a couple of landmarks near her house that were very noticeable to me, and I was like, okay, that's the landmark. That means there is your house. And I tried to take a photo with my phone through the telescope, which you'll see on there, but that was pretty cool. I thought that was fun. Yeah, so we just sort of hung around there for a little while, took some photos, had a look around from there. It is pretty spectacular looking from up on the top of the hill there. And then we moved on to the Temple of Lee. Now, I've been to the Temple of Lee before by myself, the first time I went over there, and I liked it. I thought it was awesome. But to be honest, by the time we got there this time, and we were in a car, not a motorbike, there was a massive queue to get in, and it's not like you can turn around and give up. And so we ended up sitting outside of it for probably an hour, slowly inching our way up until we eventually got in. And then once you got in there, it was kind of like the end of the day, and we've been traveling quite a lot already, and we still just sort of wanted to get back down into the city. So again, it's got beautiful views from a big courtyard as well, looking out over Cebu City. And if you hadn't just been to Tops, you'd be up there going, man, these are amazing photos, it's great. And it's amazing as well. But it's basically the same view as what you got from Tops, which is only 5 minutes away from there. So we didn't really spend a lot of time there. We went into the main building, had a bit of a look around, took a few photos, and kind of continued on with our way. But if you've never been there before, it's pretty spectacular. Like it looks like an old Greek sort of coliseum building, and it's pretty amazing. It's definitely worth going and having a look at. And again, I think maybe 100 pesos entry or something like that per person. It wasn't expensive. And that's kind of it, really. If you were looking for like a good day out from Cebu City, probably a couple of hours, an hour and a half, not even probably an hour to get up to the top of the hill and go through Temple of Lee. I'd suggest going early in the day so you don't get packed with people, and it is packed with people, and so you wouldn't have to wait as long probably if you went early. And then from there around to Tops, probably easier to park and go later when there's less, because where there's lots of people or not, it doesn't really matter then. And then from there back over to the gardens and that, and have a look around there and take some photos in the afternoon with some nice sunlight, and that would get some pretty good photos. It does get pretty hot, but because you're right up in the top of the mountains there, it is cooler than what it is down in Cebu City itself. And then, yeah, you could turn around and come back, and it's probably, you might spend an hour at each place, and an hour and a half in total driving probably. It'd be a good day out. That's kind of it for this one. Next video, I am planning to make one about things that we did in Cebu City itself, just a whole lot of different places you can go, and just fun things to do if you're looking for stuff to do in the city, which we had a whole lot of little things that we did on different days, and a couple of other videos about specific places that we went as well will be coming up. Anyway, thank you very much. I hope you're having an awesome week. Like, subscribe would be awesome, or not, comment. Have a great week. I will see you next time. Bye.